Welcome to Hockey from Home, presented by Nationwide. I'm Bob McElligott, and I'm joined by Blue Jackets defenseman David Savard right now. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to ask David your questions, have him answer those questions for you. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A option. If you have a question that you'd like to put in, go ahead and do that. We have some questions from people that registered earlier in the week as well, so I'll go through and try to balance some of that out. But David, first of all, here, I'm going to ask you this very first question because I already know the answer to it because we were just talking here as we were getting set up. But Ramon wants to know, he says, my 4-year-old son, Adam, would like to know if you will be going back to Quebec this summer. Well, where are you right now?
Yeah, we are back home right now with my family. I'm in Quebec City for the last 2 weeks. We stayed for a month in Columbus and decided to go home and I have a little bit more stuff there to work out and stuff. Usually in Columbus, we have the chance to go to a rink and work out in our nice gym and stuff. But obviously at home in Columbus, I didn't have much. So we decided to come back and hopefully have enough time to see family and before we get back to Columbus.
Well, then that'll just lead us right to the very next question that comes from Cameron, who says, what is your workout routine in the snow? Since you got a little snow up there right now, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, to make sure we can get the patio stuff out and stuff like this so we can enjoy the sun. Obviously during the days it's getting really nice right now, but there's still a lot of snow on the ground. But yeah, I mean, I've done some workout shoveling snow all afternoon and breaking ice and stuff like this to make sure it's not slippery for the kids going down the stairs and stuff.
Now, I know when I talked to you a couple of weeks ago when you were still here in Columbus, you were talking about how when you're here, you're so used to going to the rink and doing your workouts in the weight room there. And as you said, you have some more things back at home. So what are some of the things that you weren't able to do here as soon as going to the arena was shut off for you that you're able to get back to at home?
I mean, it's just having more weights. I think obviously we get the bench press, squat, all that stuff. I think it's just easier at the rink, and you got everything right there. And I think kind of the same thing here. I still have a lot of stuff here in my garage just to, some days in the summertime I won't be able to go to the gym or whatever because we have stuff with the family or so I'm able to work home and ready to hopefully we get back on the ice pretty soon.
All right, here's a question that Joe sends in from Eli, who's 9, and Ben, who is 7. Pretty good question here. When you're teaching your kids at home, do you teach them in French or in English, or does it matter which side of the border that you're on at any given time?
No, at home we're always in French. Basically, they go to the daycare in English, and that's how they kind of learned it. And but most of the time when they play together, it kind of makes you feel a bit weird. They mostly play in English together, and whenever they talk to us, it's going to be in French. So I mean, I think we do both. I think we want them to be able to switch back and forth. So I mean, sometimes at home we'll be speaking in English with them and stuff, but it's mostly French, just being our first language of me and my wife. And I think they probably have more facility in French. It's just easier for them. But I think more they're getting older and going to daycare and having friends that speak English. I think more and more they speak English, and it's kind of fun to see that they can go back and forth.
Here's another one about your kids that let's see. Pete Blake has this one. Says he's writing this question for Will, who's 11, Miles, 10, and Claire, who is 8. They all play hockey out in Easton at the chiller there. And the question is, do your kids play hockey or ice skate? And if so, how do they like having you as coach dad?
Yeah, we started this year to get some skating lesson, and they've been really having a lot of fun with it. And obviously, sometimes on days off and stuff, I'll try to bring them to the rink and go on the main ice or go on the ice house and get to skate around with them. And they've been kind of just learning, but they're getting better and better every week. And it's been a lot of fun, and they're enjoying going to the rink and skating with me. And but there's definitely a better skating coach than me, and that's why we decided to go that route, to have somebody to kind of really teach them the basic. And I think they have a way to explain it to kids that makes it easier. I've tried to do it by myself, and besides having a back pain after 20 minutes, I don't think I did much good. So we've been going to Easton or ISOS or OSU rink, and having a coach there.
How much? What did you put into getting a coach? Is what I'm trying to ask you here. How much time did you put into it? How much effort? Being at the age that they are, were you just was it an easy process for you? I mean, being an NHL player, how much effort did you put into getting the coach?
I mean, like I said, we try to go by ourselves. Like, I went with the kids on the ice, and I mean, they liked it, but they didn't really. I don't know. It was hard for me to explain how to do it. It's just so natural for me to. And talking with Nick, he was going to see a skating coach in OSU, and I we just decided to go that route. The way he just said, it's the way they explain it to kids and how they progress through all this. It makes it so easy. And after only like 3 or 4 classes, they were able to move on the ice pretty good by themselves. And from there, I think it just makes it easier for us to go to rink, and now they just practice instead of us having to try to teach them. And like I said, it's just so natural for us that sometimes it's hard to explain how, because you think it's so easy. So I think we did that, and sometimes we'll get on the ice with Nick and his kids, and we're having a blast.
It's a funny thing, sometimes some of the greatest players in whatever sport that they play don't make for the greatest coaches because it does come easy and it's hard to teach people how to do it. So it's kind of funny that you say that. Speaking of coaches, let's talk about your head coach for just 1 second. There was a story out earlier this week about the coaching staff and these puzzles that John Tortorella and his coaches have been putting together for you guys every week. I guess they send them out on Friday. There are bonus points accrued for those who finish earlier than everybody else. So the question for you is very simple. Have you won any of the puzzles yet?
Last week I tied for first, so it's pretty good. But the other 2 weeks I didn't do that great. One time I forgot the 9 a.m. I kind of went around noon or something. We were pretty busy at home, and I completely forgot. And whenever I picked up my phone after lunch or something, I saw all the texts, and the guys were, some guys were pissed or couldn't find it or something. And I think it's just I saw all the text, and I looked at my email, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna finish first on that one. So it was pretty funny, but no, I think we guys are competitive, and they're trying to win. And I was sitting on my counter at 8:50 and making sure I was there at 9 last week, and and finally got it.
Well, and it's good to be engaged, right? I mean, just to think the game a little bit more and to have that competitiveness, as you just said, with your teammates, because when you guys are together, that's constant all day long. You're competing in one way or another, aren't you?
Yeah, like I said, guys are chirping each other if they finish first and stuff, and it makes it fun. I think we had a good time with it, and you know I'm sure we'll have another good one on Friday, and you don't want to be the last guy.
All right, I got another question for you here. This is Nick has sent it in, but Zach and Jake, who are 9 and 7, would like to know this. When you were a kid, what was your favorite TV show or your favorite cartoon?
Probably the Simpsons. My brothers are a little older, so I I got into the Simpsons pretty young, and Family Guy. I think it's just something we watched at home, and it was fun. I haven't watched it in a while, but it was definitely my favorite show growing up.
And amazingly enough, I just saw this the other day because I have nothing to do except look on the internet for stuff. The Simpsons are going into their 31st season. Can you believe that? I mean, you watch it at young, and you can still go watch new episodes today.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's still funny. I mean, I don't watch it often anymore, but I still some once in a while you'll be on the TV and trying to find something, and I'll just watch a show and watch an episode, and it's so funny, it makes me laugh, and it's just relaxing watching those show.
Makes you feel like a kid again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm whatever 12 or something.
The next question here.
This is a
This is
while
coming
back.
from, yeah. Well, not as far as it was for me. Gary asked the next question, and his question is, "What is your go-to quarantine snack?"
I'm trying to stay away from those right now. I think it's just the fact that we don't skate as much. But coffee probably. I think in the afternoon I just grab my coffee and try to stay away from food. And I just obviously we don't burn as much right now, not being on the ice, and not having to try to grab my coffee. I probably have too many, probably 4 or 5 cups a day, and maybe two, maybe more than that. So that's probably my favorite one right now to stay healthy.
All right, that's fair enough. Um, Here's a question from Ryan, who's 12 years old from Worthington. And Ryan says, a couple of years ago, you and Ian Cole teamed up to be the Lumberjackets because of your great beards, obviously. Who on the current team, besides yourself, is the biggest lumberjacket?
That's well, depends right now. Maybe some guys are growing it, but it would be hard to pick. But I mean, I think I could go with Gavi. I think Gavi probably can grow a nice one. He always has a little something. So I'm sure if you let it go for a while, we could probably do the lumberjack yet again or something.
Oh, it's just amazing that you picked the guy that you probably played the most with this year, too, right?
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
got to take care of your partners.
Give him some love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Speaking of that, Kevin Bailey has this question. You played on a pair with a lot of guys while you've been in Columbus. Who has been your favorite?
It's something you can't say anything. I can't answer that. No, I mean, I played with so many good players, and I think they're all different. And obviously, I spend a lot of times with Jack for 3.5, almost 4 years, I think. And and it was great. And after Colsey, I think we only played for just a little bit, but we had a really good chemistry. And this year, I've been playing a lot with Gavi, and it's been going really well. So I mean, I think those guys just make my life easy. And it's hard to pick one. I think it's just all timing. And obviously at the time, Jack was great. And after we moved on, and I had a different partner, and it's been going pretty well. I mean, with Gavi, I think we were playing really well with each other, and I think hopefully we can do it for many years.
Do you think it's a coincidence that when you talk about those guys and yeah, the guys that I relate to you are Jack Johnson, Ian Coles, Vladislav Gavrikov, that they are guys that play a very similar style to you. I mean, in all of those pairs, quite frankly, all of them, you guys were heavy, hard to play against, shot blocking guys. It's not that you haven't played with a guy that is one of those speedy guys, likes to get up the ice and all that stuff. But, for the most part, when I think of you and the partners that you play with, you guys, you and whoever it is, seem to be of the same style, and that's why it works.
Yeah, I think we, like you said, we have the same style of play, and it probably makes it easier to kind of adjust, or where he's going to be, because you would probably do the same thing. But I think it's just like I said, I played so long with Jack, and when I transitioned with Coles, it was kind of almost similar, so it made it easy. Then kind of same thing with Gavi, and obviously if I had to switch and go play with a guy like Z who's up the ice, I think your game needs to change a little bit. You need to find him a little bit more instead of finding forwards and stuff. And it's an adjustment. It takes some time sometimes, and it would be definitely different. And but like I said, I think I've been playing really well with those kind of players, and I think that's probably why we kind of try to keep a pairing like this, and probably that why the coaches are trying to figure out who to put with me. And I think Gabby was a good fit this year.
That's the old if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been doing a pretty good job in the last few years, so hopefully we can keep it going for 5 or 6, maybe 7. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, let's get to the biggest part of the game that you are known for right now, which is blocking shots. And Rob Barkley says, I've always been so impressed with your shot blocking ability. It seems like you're always in the right position to make a play or block a shot. How do you practice shot blocking? Do you always get it right, or sometimes do you feel like, uh-oh? And he says, I moved to block the puck and I completely missed it. So how do you seem like you're always in the right place? And I'll bet you're not always in the right place. You do a good job of making it look like you were.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that has been part of my game. Start doing blocking shots and stuff, so you kind of get used to it. You know where the net is, and you try to find the shooting lane. But I don't know. It wouldn't be something fun to practice. Let's put it that way. I don't think in practice is something that you want to practice block shot. I don't think guys would really enjoy it. But I don't know. It's just something I think you got to be willing to pay the price and kind of get in the lane. And sometimes you know where it is, and you know it's going to hurt. But at the same time, I think you do it for the right reason, for the team, to help the team win games. And I think a lot of guys on our team is doing it, and that's why we've been so successful.
Yeah, what happens in practice is guys are trying to get out of the way, because we've seen guys that have accidentally gotten in the way, and all of a sudden you've got a broken bone and you're not playing for 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys are really aware of that, and I think it goes both ways. I think guys, the shooter is really trying to avoid hitting a player. Obviously, it happens once in a while, but most of the times in practice, you won't play like a game. You won't be going down and trying to block like as much as you do in a game. But obviously, we still try to get good sticks and stuff like this. You practice on different stuff, but we definitely don't go down to block shots in practice.
All right, here's another question for you. We'll go a little bit different way here. Brett would like to know, which of your teammates have a similar taste in music as you do?
Uh, I mean, a lot of guys are. I'm more of a. I listen to a little bit of everything, so I don't mind hip hop, rap, country, pop. Like I usually put the hit list or country in the car, and I just roll with it. I mean, I'm pretty easygoing, so I think a lot of guys in the room are the same way. Obviously, there's a few that have different taste in music, but I think for the most part, it would be hard to pick who. But I think besides Fliggy, who only likes country, I know it's not true, but I know he really likes country. I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't mind it at all. But I'm more of I'll listen to anything.
Who's the guy that in the room? Is there one guy that kind of controls the music in that room? Or do you share that responsibility too? Or is it an easy job? Because if there are a lot of guys that are kind of into anything, it would seem to be an easy job. But who takes control of all that?
Usually it's PLD. PLD is pretty forward on going and grabbing the iPad and putting the music in. But he puts some different stuff definitely. He'll put some French rap, Russian rap, and anything he can find, and he enjoys it. And I mean, guys are laughing about it, but he's trying to kind of get a little bit of everything, and try to get some music from everywhere, and for some guys to kind of listen to their music from their own country and stuff like this. So it's been been doing a pretty good job.
Oh, of course you would say that. He's another French Canadian guy on the team. You're not gonna. I mean, you took him in. He was your roommate, for crying out loud, as a rookie. You're not. I know you're going to give him a free pass on anything.
Yeah, right.
I have this question from Eric Bauer, who says, "If you didn't play hockey for a living, what would you do?"
That's a really good question. I don't know. Maybe I would be in construction or something that renovating houses or something. I think it would be something pretty cool to do. Or it's just it's hard to know. You know, it's just I didn't get to that point. I had to go to hockey before school. At some point, I had to make a decision, and I didn't have to choose. But it would be something outside. I would have to move around and not be sitting at a desk. I don't think I could do something like that. So maybe a car guy too. Maybe repair cars or build a muscle car or something. That would be something pretty fun to do too.
Oh, I'm glad you followed up on that, because when you said a car guy, I thought, no way could you sell cars. I mean, you're too honest to sell cars, for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe get a dealership of classic cars or something.
Yeah, there you
Something
go.
fun to do. Take
I
them
got
for a
like
drive or
I got like
something.
5 car salespeople on here now that are going to be mad at me because I said that. So,
Yeah.
do you do a lot of stuff around the house? I mean, do you do any any renovations or anything on your own during the off season?
Yeah, I try. I'm not great at it, but I enjoy kind of trying to build stuff and but repairing the, the toys or something. Bed, I'll just try to repair it myself and fix it and try to get a piece of wood and try to do something. But I'm not great at it. But I'm just having fun, and I think obviously I would need to learn a lot of stuff. It's not an easy job, but I think it's something I would really enjoy. I think I've done it at my parents' place when we were kids, and putting ceramics and do the tiles and stuff, and it was something I enjoyed, and helping my dad. So hopefully, I think it would be something fun to do.
All right, here's a question from Fawn, who says, when you're recognized out in public, maybe at the grocery store, does that bother you, or do you appreciate that the fans know you and appreciate you?
I think the people are so respectful in Columbus, and they'll come and say hi and whatever, good game or something, go CBJ or something, and I think it's been a lot of fun, and like I said, I think they're really respectful of if you're doing something with your family, they're not gonna come and screaming at you or something and for pictures and stuff. I think they're, like I said, they're really nice people, and I think it's been unbelievable the support we have, and I think the more and more we've been going playing well in the last few years, the more people kind of come to us and say something and say nice words, and I think they keep the bad words for them if they had if they're pissed off at us or something. But I think people have been so nice, and it's been a lot of fun to see how people are really following our team and really getting behind this.
All right, here's a question from Aaron, who says, you are an amazing defenseman. I love to see you fling your body around to stop the puck. How long does it take you to recover after a rough game?
A full year? No. I'm still hurting. I'm still hurting right now. No, we're pretty good. I think we get. I mean, we get everything at the rink to make sure we're ready to go the next day, or we'll get treatment. We got ice bath. We got everything for the recovery, and obviously some days you're not feeling great the next morning, but I mean for most days we kind of get used to it, and I would say it's more at the end of the year that you feel everything coming out. I think we're so into the season. You're so focused, and you get all this for everything. But actually, you're doing pretty well after the next day if we need to play.
Yeah, well, they give you like 6 hours before you have to come back and get on the ice, so that's enough, right?
Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah. Here's a question from Peyton, who's going to turn 13 here in just a couple of days. Peyton wants to know, it's kind of a two-parter here. First of all, are you a Star Wars fan?
Not really. I'm not a movie guy, so I don't watch many movies, and I don't follow all those movies. But
okay, well, if you're not a movie guy, that makes it tough.
What's the second part?
All right, the second part you can handle. I know that for sure. The second part is simply, how long do you think it will take the team to get ready for the NHL playoffs if you're able to come back and play this year?
I don't think it should be that long. I think everybody's trying to stay in shape as best as possible. Obviously, we don't have all the equipment that we're used to, but I think guys are really trying to stay in shape. And talking to all the other players, I know they're doing their part. And I think it's just a fact of getting back in sync and getting on the ice. Obviously, we haven't skated much, but we plenty of guys I think in the NHL got those roller blades, the marsh blades, and they're trying to stay in shape that way. And I think that's one way. But I think as soon as we get back on the ice, a couple weeks, and I think we'll be ready to go. And I think everybody's gonna be ready to have some fun.
Let me ask you this question, because I've talked to both goalies about this. I asked them the question, how long will it take you to get ready personally? And they both gave me the same answer. They weren't together. So, both of them were 2 weeks is what they said. It would take a goalie 2 weeks. Of course, they can't get shots right now. There's no angles, all that stuff. Would it be quicker for you as a skater to get ready? Could you guys be ready in less than 2 weeks, or will it take you about the same amount of time?
I think we could be ready better, probably quicker than 2 weeks. But like I said, it's just the game shape is hard to get, in a workout or something like that. It's just so different. Whatever you do, it's never really going to be the same. And I think it's just the execution is not going to be great at first, and that's why you need a couple practices and stuff before you even think about putting all the passes on the tape and stuff like this. And the team that's going to get ready the quickest, and I think that's going to be the difference at the end of the year this year.
All right, I'm going to ask this question. It's against my better judgment, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Judd wants to know, since you're such the beard guy, what do you think of my beard?
Looks pretty good. I think you should let it go all summer until uh, until we win the cup this year. I think it would look great.
You did well. Maybe. See, I'll tell you what. It's one less thing you got to do every day. Can tell you that. It's not
Yeah.
so bad.
See that's why I do it. It just makes your life easier.
Yes, it does. Greg wants to know your goal during the Tampa sweep in Game 1 there that really it really helped to turn things around. There were several things, but that was a big one. What was it like for you to score such an important goal? And did you get the puck after that game?
I don't think I have the puck. I don't know where it is, but no, I think it was. It was a huge play in the game, but you don't even think about it. I think it was just a momentum kind of switch there. And obviously, I think it was first of all was the Bob save early in the second that kept us in the game. Then after, obviously, Figgy's goal was huge, but we were still behind, and I think that really gave us the momentum. And from there, I think I don't even think about the goal. It's just the momentum of our team after we kind of got going, and we played so well after. So it was definitely a turning point for our team. But in the moment, I was just happy that we were one goal game. I didn't even think about the goal itself. I was just, we're right in it. We just got to keep going, keep pushing. And obviously it turned out great last year in the playoffs against Tampa.
All right, now tell me the truth. How many times have you gone back and watched that goal?
Not many times. Not that many. I mean, I get once in a while, I get a tag or something and you'll see it, but I
and you have to watch it, right?
Put it in
you
my
just
memory.
Have to.
It's just no, not just once in a while. No, it's in my mind that it was great, and I just want to keep it that way. That it was a great moment, and it was a lot of fun, and so I'm just trying to keep it that way. Sometimes you don't want to see it too often. You just want to keep it in your memory, and remind yourself that it was just it was great, but maybe if I watch it again, it won't be that great.
Well, you had the best view of it than anybody anyway. The view that you can never replay is the one that you have in your mind, so you already have everybody beat. Here's a question from Joe, who says, why do you wear the number that you wear?
So it's so when I was a kid, my brother was 6 years older than me, so I showed up on the same team 6 years after, and they gave me the same jersey. So they gave me 58, which I don't know why he was wearing 58, but I thought it was cool at the time. Then everywhere I would go, I don't know why, where I grew up, they had number 58 on every team, but nobody wanted it. So basically, I was happy to have it every year after. So basically, I just kind of kept it. I think there was only 2 seasons I didn't have it. I think it was when I showed up midget triple, I didn't have it. Then my first team I played for junior, I asked for it, and they said they wouldn't go over. I think it was 40 or something. But as soon as I got traded, so whenever I showed up in Columbus, they I first I had it. Then after, I think they switched me for training camp. Then Timmy asked, he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like that stuff." So that's why.
You were kind of ahead of things where the high numbers used to be where guys didn't want high numbers because those were like training camp numbers. But now, of course, they're much higher than 58, right? Now guys are in the 90s and they're fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a training camp number, but nobody ever asked me if it was my training camp number, so I'm good. So
Yeah.
it looks better.
Hey, let me ask you this. So if your brother had it and then you wound up having it, that's kind of special now, isn't it? That you're in the NHL and I mean, you made it here and that number still connects you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, and it's funny because where I grew up, they well, my little neighborhood, they did like an outdoor rink and whatever. So I went there whenever they opened it up and stuff. So they had like a ball hockey tournament. They asked me to show up, so I went there and they find my that jersey and they gave it to me this year. So they came to the game in Montreal and gave it to me after the game. So it was pretty cool actually.
Oh, that's great. That's great. A couple more questions here, and then we'll let you go. This is a good question that you and I have talked about this a little bit before. The question says you do a stellar job at backing up the goalie on defense. Did you ever play goalie as a kid? Because you wind up there so many times. I'm sure I could go pull 4 or 5 clips throughout your career easily where the goalie was out of position and you're lying in the crease.
Well, I never played on the ice as a goalie, but I mean, street hockey, since I was the youngest in the house, I was always the one that had to be in net and taking the slap shots and everything. And but I think that's probably why I grew up being the goalie. So maybe that's why I'm enjoying being back there and going behind the goalie whenever I have a chance to block a shot or something. For
All
after
right.
my career, I'll be goalie after when I retire.
Yeah. Yeah. You and Jean-Luc Grandpierre went from being an NHL defenseman to being an adult hockey goalie, right?
Yeah, I got my equipment. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Teresa has this question. Teresa says, I've been a season ticket holder from day one. I would just like to know how you feel about the possibility of playing in an arena with limited people and without the fans. Could you play at the same intensity? I know that we as fans are looking forward to seeing hockey.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something different. I mean, as players, it's not going to be as fun. You know, I think we enjoy having people there screaming for us, and I think it makes the game special. You know, I think you don't get to play against in front of 18,000 people too many times in your life. You know, I think growing up, you only dream of that. So I think it's definitely going to be different, but I think we want to get back on the ice, get some hockey in your TV, and get the fans involved again and listening to some hockey. So I think that's why we want to, you know, we really want to get back on the ice and get some hockey going, and hopefully we can get the fans back soon, and hopefully by the end of summer next year we will be allowed to have people in the you know in the rink and have some people cheering us.
All right. Alex, who is 7, wants to know what is the best thing to learn starting out for a left defender?
Uh, it's I don't know where to start. You know, I think it's just the practice all you know everything. You know, you got to practice your offense, practice your one on ones, practice. I mean, it's just it, if you want to you know get every aspect of the game. So I think it's just about the enjoy the process and practicing. And it's just, if it's something that you don't like, it's going to be tough to, because it's a lot of hours that we put in. And whether it's in the summertime by ourselves, or whether we go skating in the summer, and it's a lot of time. But and when you enjoy practicing and working on all those little things, it makes you an NHL player. I think you kind of you're just having fun with it. And it's been such a great ride for me to get to the NHL, and it's been fun. But like I said, I'm not done. I still work on every little things, and you still learn from new guys coming in the league, and the way they skate, the way they move, the way the skills they have. You got to keep up with them. And I'm trying to get better every day. So I lost you. Did you say anything?
Nope, nope. I was waiting to see. It was kind of frozen there. I was waiting, and there you are. I got two more questions for you. One here is from Lee, who says, "What is your favorite hockey city other than Columbus, of course, and why?"
I'd say there's a couple that are my I would say my favorite. I think Montreal has a special place for me. Just watching them growing up, it's always something fun to when we go there. And I think Chicago is something pretty cool. I mean, since I came in the league, I think they obviously they won 3 cups, and just how loud it is, and it's just a great city. And obviously they're sporting, and it's always fun to go in there and try to beat them. And my last one would be New York. Obviously, New York is I don't know. It's a busy city. I don't know if I could live there. It's definitely different, but I think it's always fun to go there, and to go walk around. It's just amazing. It amazed me, that city, how big it is and how many people there is. And when you get to MSG, I think it's something pretty special to I think there's we'll show up at 4 in the afternoon for the game, and the court's still on there, and you're playing at 7. It's just, I'll be going back and forth every 15 minutes to see if the ice is going to be ready, and
Right.
it's just something special about it.
Yeah, you're right. It's always like there's no way they're going to be done with this in time. No way, but they always
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Then it's like half hour after at 4:30 is just they're putting the glass on, and they're not even 5. I think the bus is not even at the rink, and they're ready.
Right. No, you're right. I'm going to ask you one more question, and I know it's in this list, so I apologize because I don't know who asked it, but I saw it and I've been trying to scroll. There's a very long list of questions, which, by the way, you guys have been great with your questions tonight, as always. But this is the question: will you retire as a Blue Jacket?
I mean, I think it would be great. I love the city. All 3 of my kids were born in Columbus, and we really enjoy being there. And hopefully, if I get the chance to do it, I think it would be something pretty special. But it might be out of my control. But hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But hopefully, I can stay in shape and stay, you know, playing well. And if I can stay in Columbus, it would be something pretty special. I think, like I said, my family really enjoys being in Columbus. The people are so great, and my kids are really are having kids, having friends now, and it's just it's been a little different the last few years. It kind of changed your mentality when you have a family, and it's just a great place to raise a family. And it's just like I said, I've been enjoying being there, and hopefully I can stay there for many more years.
Well, I know this, that everybody that is on this call tonight, you're not going to find a single person that doesn't feel the same way. We love having you here, love to watch you play, really appreciate the way that you do play the game night in and night out, and really appreciate you taking the time to answer the fans' questions here tonight on Hockey from Home, presented by Nationwide. David, enjoy your time there in Quebec, and when it's time to come back to Columbus, which, fingers crossed, I hope is pretty soon here, safe travels back and getting ready to play again.
Well, thanks for having me. It was great, and I can't wait to be back on the ice in front of everybody. So I think it'll be hopefully soon, but we'll see. We'll see what everybody decides.
All right, that's Blue Jackets defenseman David Savard.